And all I'd say to you is, I think, people, there's a balance, I suppose, between people working from home. I know one or two of my colleagues have been able to reduce their childcare, therefore their income has increased on the back of that. And we as a company have been quite flexible on how we approach that. All I won't do is let people work from home on a Monday or a Friday. Certainly Friday afternoons, that's not a no-no. So I think it's all about a balance, isn't it? And I think that, as Jacqui was saying earlier, there's work that you can do from home. And that's my point about people are not going to go back into the office to sit at a desk, whether behind a perspex screen or not. They want to go in and meet people. And I think when we've opened the showroom here, the sort of the motivation and the change in my salespeople, having met their colleagues and being able to have conversations was quite remarkable. And the same has happened in a more limited way in our factory in Huddersfield. Office staff going back, also the factory staff going back, were far more motivated and kind of on it, as it were, than they were sat at home. So I think but at the same time, it's about the balance and learning from this whole thing. For example, I used to spend most of my time on the road or on a train, and it's the first time in the last 10 years I've spent any time in my house during the week. So I don't intend to change that. I tend to work from home for part of the week and travel for part of the week once we can get going. I think, Ben, you're the same. It used to go home out on a Monday morning, come home Friday night. But I quite enjoyed living in Brighton, which I've not done for some time. Over to you, Victoria.
Yeah, no, I'm really grateful for that insight. I think our business is built on people working remotely, and literally just before lockdown we were looking to take some sort of office space up in King's Cross to allow Robin and Mark to be able to come down and work when we needed to get together, and that was only going to be a couple of days a week. But we're quite grateful that we didn't sign up for that, because that might have tied us into a contract that we probably would have had a bit of problem with through lockdown. But I think there's definitely value in a team getting together, and I don't think any of us, Mark, when we were working at So Vibrant in Harrogate, the best work we did was when all of us were together talking about our clients, talking about who we were going to see, being able to feel each other's excitement about project or queries and concerns about another project. And I really miss that. Like, I miss seeing Rob and Mark, like, even just once a week for that sort of connectivity. I think the difficulty and sort of what we might do going forward is, I've also realised, certainly from Mark's perspective, he's been on his own. He doesn't live with family and doesn't have anyone around, also doesn't have a garden. So the wellbeing side for Mark, for me, has been huge. And then we've also been working really closely with Robin, because he's got an 18-month-old baby girl who likes to join our calls every now and then, and has a wife who works, all the time. And actually, Rob's not productive. He can't work there. He doesn't want to have those distractions. But we've come to an agreement that he works when Ivy goes to sleep, pretty much. And actually, as an employer, that's quite hard as well, because you've got to change your expectations of when things are delivered and manage your clients. And that's not furniture related, but it's well-being related and connectivity with your team. So maybe we will be calling on you for some booths, Ben, or Jacqui for some sexy new furniture, and Kelvin will be coming to your showroom every now and then, try and pop in. I think,
but also Victoria, I think we're all still trying to work out from a product perspective, how do you best service that collaboration when people are together? What is that going to look like? And I was surprised to hear from Ben that people are buying these kind of glassed enclosed pods with limited ventilation. And
I can't believe that.
I was surprised at that, because we were developing one and we've kind of backed off it a bit. And also the other thing was things like large tables. We thought that people were trying to get more people into a space, but now they're going to be 1 meter apart, so the tables are going to get bigger, or we're going to get rid of the tables. It's a interesting subject to see how it's going to evolve over the next 12 months.
Maybe we can all get back together in maybe 3 or 4 months' time and see if there's been any developments. Certainly from, I think we've all of us, is it right to say we've got sort of September in our minds, that we're going to see a bit of a shift, and maybe we'll get some different ideas on what product development could look like, and we can feed in what we're seeing from our clients, from you guys to you guys as well. But we're also hoping some of our projects that fell away come back on the table, because
certainly I would welcome your views on whether we're going down the right road in terms of what we're developing in terms of product in order to facilitate this. we got this phrase of new ways of working does seem to be, again, it's but very different news. Very different new ways of working that it was considered 5-6 years ago.
So before we close off, because I know, Kelvin, you've got to run, Ben and Jacqui, I probably want to ask you the same questions as I did to Kelvin. If there were 3 things that we could sign off or very quickly grab from you as to what you advise people to start thinking about for the future, or the key things that you've learned over the past few months of lockdown, what would they be?
Go on, Ben.
I was doing the ladies first thing there.
Go on. I am with bated breath.
Yeah. So what are the 3 things? The first one is the importance of sharing knowledge. I feel events like this, the research, the data that we're getting, the fact that I can share with you what's happening in other countries, so we don't feel as isolated. That sharing of knowledge is absolutely essential. The second thing is, I think whatever prediction we try and make about the future of the workplace, of the office, will probably be wrong, because I just can't predict what's going to happen. There's so many variables in the economy, in the way that people are working, in global events that affect it. But the third one is the home office. And I think the importance, we all know that people now can work, the need for presenteeism, I suspect, will diminish, and that people will be allowed and trusted to work more at home. So I would want to encourage people to consider turning their workplace into a more effective environment, because I believe employers have a degree of responsibility, if they're going to save the costs associated with having full occupancy, with providing their staff with some form of comfortable environment, even if it's just a good chair. From Sedus.
Thank you. That's really kind of you. Jacqui?
Look.
Sorry, Kelvin, go on.
No, it doesn't matter. I was just going to say that it's interesting, isn't it, that there's been a huge amount of talk about home office furniture, but in the main, most task chairs that have been supplied to home office do not comply to domestic fire regulations. And I'll leave that with you.
That's a good point.
Go on, Jacqui, give it to us. Come on.
Give it to us. I think the only thing that we can get right is to get it wrong. Coming back to Ben's point, who'd have seen this coming? How many disaster recovery plans would have included a pandemic? Did yours, Kelvin? Mine didn't. I think the biggest thing is that people have got to start thinking about other people, and not just taking it for granted that we're the only ones in this, because everybody is there, and we do need to share a lot more knowledge, and we just need to help make the workplace a safer place for everybody, really, however that might look. But I think the cleaning, we might just be at a point where people start washing their own cups up instead of leaving them on the desk. I think clear desk policy, I've banged on about that for years, but I've seen, and we've all done this, we've all gone in to do workplace service, haven't we, and opened the pedestal, and there's the last week's sandwiches in there, and the shoes, gym shoes, and the desk is just full of everything that a cleaner can't clean. So I think if people can start thinking more about that, just think about others. But let's just keep the acoustics going, can we? Can we just think about the well-being in the office? So manufacturers, and there's 2 of you here, and you're great manufacturers. Get rid of the acrylic screens, please. And I'm pleased to say that neither of you are doing that, are promoting that. And let's just come up with some products that are going to work, and they're not just going to be there to be aesthetic. They're going to support the workers.